With initiating play or starting play, the child is now to the point where they have some conversation skills, some basic cooperative play skills, and they get to the moment where the idea is that they get to cash some of these in to engage a child, a friend, in a particular play activity. So we have a very basic, 3 or 4 step process in coaching the kids and how to do this. There's actually 2 lesson plans within this under initiating play. The next slides will have a close-up of this, but we have initiating play where it breaks it down a little bit as to what the child can say and to be a little bit more assertive instead of asking a yes-no question, do you want to play? It's more of a directive, let's play, and then the child offers an idea. And then recently we added initiating pretend play. And the reason why we did that is because we noticed that a lot of our strategies are really built around games that were structured. They had some kind of beginning and end. And when you think about it, for the younger kids, a lot of the recess play could be around pretend play. There isn't a formal structure to it. There are some kids who play soccer and basketball and kickball, and of course when you're in indoor recess, there's drawing and board games and so much. But there's a vast majority of kids, if you just watch them during recess, they're running around. So there's a fair amount of pretend play that happens, and so that's why the lesson is slightly different. Okay, so additional slides to follow. The first 2 steps under initiating play and asking someone to play are aimed at having the child connect with their friend first before they ask to play. A lot of times kids will think they have a good idea, and if they're talking to their friend, then their friend, of course, must understand them and hear them automatically, and that's not the case. That's the whole theory of mind issue, that if I'm thinking something or feeling something and you know what I'm thinking and feeling, and so the idea is really to help that person initially get up there and start the ball off as correctly as possible by getting close proximity, looking at the person when you are initially engaging them, and of course using the person's name. The whole use of the name, especially with a greeting or throughout the conversation, will solicit the person that you're talking to turn around and look at you. So we start off with those 2 steps first and practice those. The third step is let's play with whatever activity you want to do. And what we're suggesting is that the language is a little bit more assertive than opposed to do you want to play or can you play? Anytime you offer a question where there's a possibility of a yes/no answer, it's really easy for another child to give. We'd like to just help them go in the direction of being more assertive. Step number 4, compromising. This is actually another lesson plan down the road, but for right now, we just try to help the children understand that they, when they want to play something like tag or anything that involves turn taking up front, like hide and seek, whatever it might be, that they're going to have to let their friend go first at times, and so that part is put in there as well. It helps when you want to initiate play. The compromising lesson is a little bit further down the road. We'll get into that. The notes here at the end are, it's always hard for the adult to see something not work out because another child says no, and it's most definitely hard for the child who's asking someone to play to be rejected. So in the beginning, we try to look for those controlled settings where we could set it up a bit so that there's a much greater likelihood that the child's going to say yes. Now in a group setting, this is easily done. In a recess type setting, sometimes we help the kids work it out ahead of time, but right before they run out the doors as to what they want to play or who you're going to ask. And oh yeah, Billy, Tommy, don't forget when you go outside, you guys are going to figure out what you want to play. For the adult to kind of coach that up a little bit so it increases the odds of it working out. And of course, if the child who's asking someone to play has something in their hands, that could be a very powerful way of getting another child to go along with them, because they have the frisbee, they have the ball, they have the basketball, they have whatever it might be. Anything they have in their hands that is part of the play situation increases that child's value as they go in and ask other kids to play. And we ask kids, we suggested kids to look at smaller groups when they jump in to initiate, as opposed to trying to go into a large group and asking a bunch of kids to play. With a pretend play, the first two steps are very much the same, exactly as the prior lesson under pretend play. The third step under pretend play is the same thing as well. The only thing different is that you're asking someone to play something that is not concrete. It's more of a open-ended pretend type situation. And the fourth step, this is what's different, number 4 and 5, how you want to play. Because of course, if you're playing zombies or Star Wars or quicksand or Indiana Jones, whatever it is, you have to at least get some ideas from the other person, because you can have completely two different expectations when it comes to playing something that is pretend. Now, over a number of different recesses, if the kids play this, back to back over a few days, they figure this out. But initially, when a person's asking someone to play, it's a good idea to kind of get some ideas. And of course, look, stop, and listen to your friend, because they have some ideas. Even though it's your idea to ask someone to play something, listen to your friend so they give you some feedback. So this is initiating play, including pretend play.